محمد عرف الصواب وفي أبياتهم نزل الكتاب.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. الحمد لله مالك الملك مجري الفلك مسخر الرياح فالق الإصباح ديان الدين رب العالمين. الحمد لله على حلمه بعد علمه والحمد لله على عفوه بعد قدرته والحمد لله على طول أناته في غضبه وهو قادر على ما يريد. ثم الصلاة والسلام على نبينا وسيدنا وقائدنا آية الله العظمى أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد اللهم صل على وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين. السلام عليكم brothers and sisters wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. In the previous night, before yesterday night, we started a subject about having empty time and what we should be doing with that time and how we should spend it. And I promised to read this narration that has a lot of issues we need to take care of before we can think of what to do with our empty time. Because if we don't get rid of all of these habits that we will be talking about and all of these thoughts and ways of how to deal with things in this life, we won't even have that empty time to even think what to do with it or not to do with it. The imam starts by saying, I'll read it in Arabic because it's much better to start with Arabic. عن أبي عبد الله عليه السلام قال قال أبو جعفر عليه السلام مثل الحريص على الدنيا كمثل دودة القز كلما ازدادت على نفسها لفا كان أبعد لها من الخروج حتى تموت غما. The Imam is bringing an example of the silkworm. Now the silkworm, as you all know, we get our silk from this worm which cocoons itself into the actual silk until it builds up one cocoon. Each cocoon is about 1 kilometer long. That's how long each cocoon of a silkworm is. Now what happens sometimes is that this silkworm starts spinning and turning inside this cocoon until it can't come out. It starts wrapping itself and then it can't come out and it dies. The Imam says ghamman. And I searched the internet to look and read about this silkworm, and it turned out that there are some worms that get stuck in there. And the people that have silkworm farms, when they open it up, they see it there. They see 2 or 1 silkworm which is just dead. And the Imam uses gham. He uses the word ghamman, hatta tamuta ghamman. So once it winds itself and wraps itself into this cocoon, it dies inside out of gham. Now we have 3 parts of sadness. We have al-ham, we have al-gham, and we have al-ka'aba. Right? Now there's a big difference between each 3. When you have ham, is when you have worry. Worry about something you can change. Worry about something you can confront. For example, if you are worried about a test tomorrow you have at school, you can learn and study, and that worry gets lifted or gets eased. Then we have something called gham. Gham is a worry what you can't change. For example, if your son, la samahallah, dies, or your father dies, la samahallah, or someone of your family member passes away, or your finger gets chopped off, or somebody close to you gets really hurt, or in an accident, this is something you can't change. And this is referred to as al-gham. Now, both of this worry and gham are inside. It's an inside feeling. Ka'aba comes on the third level, which is gham, something you cannot change, but it shows on your face. It shows that you are depressed. You look it. When someone sees you, he knows that your heart is busy with something. He knows that your mind is absorbed with something. The Imam refers to the greedy man as what? As the person that is like the silkworm that dies ghamman, that dies of sorrow and sadness. This is the way a greedy person is. So one of these attributes we have to get rid of is being greedy. And the Imam says, why? And then he says, قال أبو عبد الله كان فيما وعظ به لقمان ابنه يا بني إن الناس قد جمعوا قبلك لأولادهم فلم يبق ما جمعوا ولم يبق من جمعوا له. People before you, they collected for who? For who will stay after them. Because when someone is in the habit of collecting, he's only collecting for his inheritors. He's not collecting for himself. When you're collecting worldly issues, worldly things, you're collecting for somebody else. When you die, all your money goes. You don't take anything with you to the grave. So the Imam says this is how the greedy man is. And the people that collected before have passed away. And the ones they collected for have passed away. فَلَمْ يَبْقَ مَا جَمَعُوا وَلَمْ يَبْقَ مَنْ جَمَعُوا لَهُ. What they have collected did not stay. And who they collected for did not stay. Then the Imam says, وَإِنَّمَا أَنْتَ عَبْدٌ مُسْتَأْجَرٌ. The holy verse says, إِنَّ اللَّهَ اشْتَرَى مِنَ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ أَنفُسَهُمْ وَأَمْوَالَهُمْ بِأَنَّ لَهُمُ الْجَنَّةِ. Ya Habibi, we made a deal. We have made a deal with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We have made a pact that I am your servant and I have a reward. In return for me being a servant to you, O Allah, you give me heaven. And we have a very, very good deal, to be honest. For you to worship, say, 40, 50 years of your life, and then for infinity, you have whatever you want. You have a kingdom of your own. The least level in heaven is twice as big as the whole universe. Twice as big. That's the least level. Isn't it a good deal? It's a bargain. It's a very good bargain. And you're making this deal with who? With someone who does not promise, who does not break his promise. That's who you've made this deal with. And then he goes on to say, إن الله اشترى من المؤمنين أنفسهم وأموالهم بأن لهم الجنة قد أمرت بعمل ووعدت عليه أجرا فأوف عملك واستوف أجرك. You have been ordered and obligated to do certain things in this world. Do what you have been ordered, do what you have been obligated, and then inshallah you will get your reward. واستوفي أجرك واستوفي أجرا فأوفي عملك واستوفي أجرك ولا تكن في هذه الدنيا بمنزلة شاة وقعت في زرع أخضر فأكلت حتى سمنت فكان حتفها عند سمنها. Don't be like a sheep who finds a very big amount or a vast amount of grass, And it eats until it gets fat. And because it got fat, it died. That's it. Some people, they literally just do this. They come into this world, they eat, go to the toilet, get married, make babies, and die. Nothing. They don't give anything. It's just take, and nothing to give in return. This is what the Imam is saying. Don't worry about what your food is. Whatever the food is, as long as it's halal, it doesn't matter. What type of food, what kind of food. As long as it's halal, it doesn't matter. What you want from food is energy. And what you need the energy for is to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's as simple as that. So why do you worry so much about your food? Why does it even have to be an issue? Why the woman comes to the man, what do we want me to cook today? Cook anything. It doesn't matter what you cook. As long as we can get some sort of sustenance and some sort of energy from it so we can worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It doesn't matter what it is, as long as it's halal. That's what really matters. That's what really counts. And then he says, وَلَكِنْ اجعل الدنيا بمنزلة قنطرة على نهر جزت عليها وتركتها ولم ترجع إليها آخر الدهر. It's like a passage. You know when they build a passage from one side of the river to the other side of the river so they can pass through? This whole world, think of it like that. If we don't think about these issues, if we don't think about all of what I'm mentioning right now, or the Imam is mentioning right now, the advice from Luqman to his son, we won't get to have empty time to fill it with good deeds. If we are greedy, the greedy person has empty time. No, he's still greedy. He still wants more of this world. He won't have time to focus on what is more important. If you only think about what you eat and who you sleep with, are you going to have any empty time to fill it out with good? No, you won't have any empty time. If you only think of how to build this world and how to take care of it and what looks good and what doesn't look good, will you have empty time? You won't. Because you're always fixing something of this world. Oh, my wall needs fixing, I have to fix it and paint it. After you paint it, I need to fix something else, let me fix that. Okay, I need a new car, I get a new car. Okay, my car, and this is the whole circle of life just keeps on going. It won't end. So the Imam says, just make it like a passage. Do you care what a bridge has, a water dispenser or a fridge or a freezer? You don't care what it has. The bridge is a bridge. You just want to pass and go to the other side. And this is what the Imam is saying. This dunya is like a bridge. In fact, the Imam then says, وَلَا أَخْرِبْهَا وَلَا تُعَمِّرْهَا أو وَلَا تُعْمِرْهَا فَإِنَّكَ لَمْ تُؤْمَرْ بِعِمَارَتِهَا. Now this needs a very big level and high level of belief to accept this. The Imam is saying it doesn't matter how your dunya looks. If it's going to get in the way of your akhirah, let it be ruined. Alaykum as-salam wa rahmatullah. The Imam is saying let it be ruined. It doesn't matter. If it's going to get in the way of your akhirah, let it be ruined. I don't have a car. If I cheat someone, I can buy a car. If I buy a burnt car, a stolen car, I can afford a car. Yallah, it doesn't matter. Let me buy a burnt car. Or a hot car. Doesn't matter. I can afford it. It's cheaper now. Why? Because it was stolen. Or it was financed. So here, you can take it a very cheap price, 15%, 20% of the price of the car. Habibi, drive anything. Drive a bomb, it doesn't matter. Drive a crappy car, it doesn't matter. You weren't bought in this world to have a good car. Just drive anything, as long as it gets you from point A to point B. Alhamdulillah, barak mu mawjood. Anyway, as long as it gets you from point A to point B, that's enough. It gets you from one place to another, that's enough. But I come and ruin my akhirah, my hereafter, for something that is a passage, for a walkway, for a bridge. Is it worth it? It's not worth it at all. And once I start to think like that, I won't even have any empty time on my hands to know what to fill it with. And then the Imam goes on to say, فإنك ولا تعمرها فإنك لم تؤمر بعمارتها واعلم أنك ستسأل غدا إذا وقفت بين يد الله عز وجل عن أربع. He says, and know that you will be asked about 4 matters or 4 issues. 1 or 4 stages of your life. 1, شبابك فيما أبليته. What trials have you went through in your young youth? What have you done? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't ask about the old man what he's done, because he's got no desires. He's old. He's too old to even think about desires. But a young man is full of power, and he's full of desires, and he's full of things he wants to do. So the Imam is saying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to ask you about your desires. شَبَابُكَ فِيمَا أَبْلَيْتَ. Where did you spend that time of your childhood, of your younger age? Alaykum as-salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And then he says, وَعُمْرُكَ فِيمَا أَفْنَيْتَ. What was your whole life about? Where did you spend your whole life? In total, where did you spend it? What was your worry about? Was it about the akhirah, or was it about this world? Was it about this dunya? Where did you spend your time? And then the Imam says, وَمَالُكَ مِمَّا اكْتَسَبْتَ. Where did you earn your money? Was it through halal, or was it through shonky contracts? Or was it through lying to people? Or was it through stealing? How did you earn your money? How did you earn your food? How did you earn your sustenance? Where was it from? Was it all from halal money? And inshallah one night we will give a whole lecture just about what is halal and how, the haram and effects of haram earnings and effects of haram food and how it affects our soul. Inshallah, we'll prepare one night, just only talk about that, inshallah. And then he says, وَمَالُكَ مِمَّا اكْتَسَبْتَهُ وَفِيمَا أَنفَقْتَهُ. Even if you earned it in halal, where did you spend it? Because it's not only important for you to earn halal money, it's also important for you to spend it in the right place, on the right things. That's also important. And you will be asked and you will be judged. The Imam says, وَمَالُكَ مِمَّا اكْتَسَبْتَهُ وَفِيمَا أَنفَقْتَهُ فَتَأَهَّبْ لِذَلِكَ وَأَعِدَّ لَهُ جَوَابًا. Get ready for that. Get prepared for that. And get an answer ready for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when He asks you about these 4 stages of your life or 4 issues. وَلَا تَأْسَ عَلَى مَا فَاتَكَ مِنَ الدُّنْيَا. Don't even have any sort of sorrow, or don't even care about what passed you from this dunya. Some people, they get older, they get to their 40s, and then they start thinking, you know what, when I was young, I didn't do this thing that this young man is doing. It's a haram act. Since I missed out, let me go do it. And you see them, they're 40 years old. They sell their house, they buy a Ferrari, and they're bald most of the time. And they're driving this Ferrari and they're acting like they're young. Why? Because they feel like they missed out on what has passed from their young youth. They didn't get to have fun, and we want to have fun. That's why it's very important to have patience. الصبر على الطاعة. To have patience on worship. Anyway, and then he goes, وَلَا تَأْسَ عَلَى مَا فَاتَكَ مِنَ الدُّنْيَا فَإِنَّ قَلِيلَ الدُّنْيَا لَا يَدُومُ بَقَاؤُهُ. The little of this worldly things and worldly matters doesn't even stay. وَكَثِيرُهَا لَا يُؤْمَنْ بَلَاؤُهُ. Even if you have a lot of wealth in this world, there's a lot of calamities that come with this world. This dunya is very tricky. It plays a trick on you. تغر وتمر وتضر. It tricks you, then it passes, and then you'll be left with all the bad effects of this world. تضر وتمر تغر وتضر وتمر. This is how this world, this is the true face of this world. And anything that shows you a different face to this world, know that that's from Iblis. Know that is from Shaitan. Anything that shows you a different side, that no, this dunya is nice, it's beautiful, there's a lot of good things happening, just believe me, it's from Shaitan. Don't take by it. Don't believe in it. ولا تأس على ما فاتك من الدنيا فإن قليل الدنيا لا يدوم بقاؤه وكثيرها لا يؤمن بلاؤه فخذ حذرك وجد في أمرك واكشف الغطاء عن وجهك وتعرض لمعروف ربك وجدد التوبة في قلبك واكمش في فراغك قبل أن يقصد قصدك. The Imam used wakmush. Wakmush means hold on before it leaves you. You know, grab on before, قبل ما يفلت we say. Before it leaves you, grab on. Grab on to your empty time. Don't let it get away with all the social media these days that are on the internet. Grab on. Make use of your empty time. Fill it with good things. Fill it with things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is pleased with. And you will see your life will change from bad to good. وصلى الله على محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين.